don't waste your time on anything other than the highest priority thing. What's the one thing? As Gary Keller says, what's the one thing? I've spoken for Gary Keller's thing, the guy that wrote the book, One Thing. I've spoken to Keller Williams a number of occasions, and they use my value acts in their company, actually, the value applications. And it's sticking to the one thing. Don't do something lower priority. Find the one thing. Mary Kay from Mary Kay Cosmetics, Mary Kay Ash, I was speaking to 4,500 women. Imagine this. I'm the only guy in the auditorium in front of 4,500 women. I swear to God, I was pinching myself. If I died, is this the afterlife? This has to be the afterlife. And 4,500 women. Afterwards, I actually met with Mary Kay, and I asked her some questions. She said, I said, what exactly would you advise a young man who aspired to want to travel and step foot on every country on the face of the earth to speak? And she said, every day, write down the highest priority actions that you can do that day and document that, and make sure they're little actions that can be done that day, not goals that take weeks or days, just actions that day. And then make sure it's the highest priority you can come up with and do it. And if you finish early, do one more, but don't ever have goal overrun where you do too many for the day, where you feel like you're never getting things done. And just do that every day. And then collect that and keep a storehouse of those. And then after you've collected maybe a year's worth or 2 years worth, now go back and look at which were the highest priorities of the highest priorities of the highest priorities. What were the ones that repeated most? And I broke those down, and it was teach, research, write, travel. I then delegated everything else away, which matched the same thing I told you earlier about prioritizing what you do and delegating. So I don't do anything else but teach, research, write, and travel. That's it. Haven't driven a car in 34 years almost. Haven't cooked since I was 24. I have people to clean the place twice a day. My apartment here on the ship. I got a clock changer. I'm almost got a butt wiper. I'm anything that I don't love doing, I hire people to do. And I tell you, every time I do it, just grows my business and allows me to reach more people.
And what if it is something that you love doing, but it's not bringing in, the bulk of the income? One of my customers I'm thinking of right now, but I just love doing these one-on-one calls with my customer. It has to be me. I have to stay connected to that. What's your advice there?
Well, if you do it at one-on-one, you're going to be limited by your linear system unless you raise your fees and keep raising your fees, which has got probably some limits. Although I had one client that made $75,000 an hour, which is pretty good income. He was a high-paid guy that knew how to find oil, a consultant. But you're going to either have to raise your fees, but you want to ask yourself, what is it I would absolutely love to do? Okay, I'd love to do client communications. Great. How would I get handsomely and beautifully paid to do that? Not how can I afford to do it, but how can I get handsomely and beautifully paid? How can I scale that up by doing that? And is it sure that I want to do one-on-one? Or if I'm speaking to a group and I'm talking one by one to a group, can I leverage myself? Could I hire people that are the best of the clients that also want to do that? And can I leverage and duplicate myself and train them, and only train those people that are training and reaching people and set up a chain reaction? But if not, you got a linear system, and maybe that's, you don't want to manage. But a lot of people go, I don't want to do management. I don't want to do management. I want to do teach, research, write, travel. So I hire people to do the rest.